Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Are you ready to get your pumpkin on? I'm sorry if you're not. Every year they bring out the pumpkins in July. What is going on? And what can I say? I am no better than the other rabble that forces fall down your throat in August. In my defense, I do have a cure time on these soaps, so I have to release them early. You guys have seen me make pumpkin spice soap before. It's a staple. I make it every year, and this year I love the simplicity. We zhuzhed up the top. We made it a frosted soap. You're gonna love it. Without further ado, let's make some soap. All right, let's get this party started. I legitimately forgot that I added the pumpkin puree in there, and I started blending and was like, what is wrong with these oils? Go ahead and pour in my lye water solution, blend it on up. And here's a little trick for you soap makers. This would work for candles or sugar scrubs as well. If you know you want a lighter version and a darker version of the same color in your creation, color double as much of the darker one and add your lightener to the second half. I'll show you what I mean. That's a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna pour off double as much color as I need for my accent. Then go ahead and color that, your dark color. I'm using flotation device from Mad Micah's today. Gonna blend this up very quickly. Okay, there's my darker color. Now I'm gonna pour some of this color into a second container. I'm doing half and half today, so I'm gonna pour 25 ounces into here. Awesome. Now we're gonna add our lighter color to this. Pour that right in and mix that up. Awesome. Now I have the exact same color, one lighter, one darker, with minimal dishes. And like I said, you can pretty much use that for anything. I mean, that would work for lip products, it'd work for sugar scrubs, it'd work for whip soaps. And that may be abundantly obvious to some of you, but whenever I started out making products, I certainly didn't think about things like that. So I love to throw out those tips when possible. Okay, we have our two accent colors. Now we're gonna work on our base. Our base is going to discolor by itself, but I'm gonna try to minimize that by adding in some brown oxide and our fragrance oil. I'm gonna scrape all of that in. We are not fragrancing our accented portions because it will turn so dark. And we're going to move quite quickly. I know this looks like it's behaving well right now, but believe me, I've worked with this fragrance over many, many years, and it does start to set up quickly, so you've got to move it, move it. Okay, now you can see all of what I'm doing. I'm gonna start by pouring in about, we'll fill these a third of the way up, and you can see it's starting to thicken. It's not awful, it's just thicker than it was when we first blended. I'm gonna pour in accent color number 1. This is actually technically number 2, I guess. Here's number 1. Lots of people ask me if I decrease my fragrance load if I don't add the fragrance into the accent colors. The answer is yes. And so it's very important to work with a very high quality fragrance oil if you're going to do this, because overall there is going to be less fragrance added to your batches. I always keep that in mind, and I purchase a fragrance that is extremely strong because there will be a little bit of a discount there. All right, make one stripe down the middle here, one stripe, or a couple, I guess, down the middle over here. Doesn't really matter. It's all gonna get swirled anyway. This soap is going to have frosting on top, so no need to save any of our colors. In fact, better to go ahead and scrape them all in because they will look better in the swirl if you have almost all of your batter in the containers. Doesn't have to be flat at this point in time. We're gonna smooth it out after we swirl. And my goal is always to get all the way to the bottom and up a couple of times before swirling the middle. That way I know that everything has been incorporated, so I kind of go down, move move a little up in the middle, and then down, move a little up on the side. Then I can start looping, you know, up and down, little swirls, whatever. It is pretty important that your soap is about this thickness before you attempt to do that though. Otherwise, it's just gonna all get squishy on the middle and you're not gonna see those defined swirls. Now is the time when I can gently tap them to remove any air bubbles and flatten them out. And I can finish up the little scraping of my big container here. This is supposed to resemble a pumpkin spice frappuccino, so it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth on the top. And even though it is quite literally 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Texas today, this is actually making me feel quite autumnal and making me look forward to all of those delicious autumn beverages. Ugh, it looks so good. And as this continues to sit, after we cut it, after it starts to cure, this brown will get so much darker and look even more like coffee. All right, using the Royalty Soaps Soap Frosting Club and our 𝑒𝑡co 869 tip and my famous soap frosting recipe, we are going to frost this soap all the way across. I want this to look fluffy. I want it to look gourmand. I want it to look like an absolutely delicious beverage you would get from a really bougie coffee shop. And let me just say, my bestie friend, 2024 has really been her year. She bought a house. She has done so much good for her health. And one of the things that she really leveled up this year were her coffee making skills. So Caroline used to work at Starbucks. She is a coffee connoisseur and she got the Breville Barista. If you don't know what that is, it is a home espresso machine. And apparently it makes super delicious, scrummy coffee beverages. I have not gotten to try it yet because gosh darn it, if she didn't move an hour and 15 minutes away from me. Honestly, I'm just getting used to it at this point in my life. This is what I get for living in the rural Texas countryside, an hour and a half outside of the Dallas area, is that everyone moves further away from me instead of closer. But she lives in a really, really, really nice area, and I'm just gonna have to suck it up and go out there. I did help her move, but since then it's been a little bit, and I have yet to try the coffee, but I know she's going to make the most fall beverages ever. I wanna go over there and for us to make fall treats and watch over the garden wall. Yes, this totally looks like a fancy coffee. I'm loving it. Recently, since turning 30, I have had a huge mindset shift. I don't know if it's because I turned 30 or if it was the summertime or if it was health things. I really don't know what actually did it, but I'm in so much of a healthier place. Those late 20s were brutal for me. I know that that's the best years of other people's lives, and that just got to show that we are individuals. And I'm kind of going into this school year feeling the most confident, the most refreshed. I have set up some educational classes for myself to complete by the end of the semester. I'm not in college. I'm just saying it's just extended education. I completed the Girls Who Invest Masterclass, which was a huge course. It was actually a pretty big undertaking. I was surprised. And now I'm in the True Travel Masterclass so that I can learn how to use credit card points for travel. These are all women-owned and women-run courses, so if you're interested in any of those, I will leave them down below. All right, now I'm gonna take a little bit of this brown mica powder. This is from Mad Micas. It's called Stranger on a Train, is what we're calling it, because this is a family-friendly channel. All right, just gonna tap a little bit, like what you would see as a garnish on the top of I don't know, a frappuccino, a cappuccino, something like that. All right, that's enough. You don't want to go too heavy with something like this. I'm also going to add a little bit of this Aunt Daisy glitter from the Good Glitter. It's a mix of gold and copper and a little bit of a pale glittery color. I don't want it to be too much because again, this is supposed to be kind of like a drink. I kind of want it to represent like a sprinkle blend, like fancy sprinkles or something. That's enough. Nothing more. Now we're gonna add some little pumpkin embeds. These remind me of the Trader Joe's pumpkin chocolates that they have every year, so I thought this would be a perfect addition. We've used these for like pumpkin patch soaps, but I thought they would transfer well for a drink too. Here's what they look like up close. But yeah, I just felt like pursuing practical education in my everyday life was something that I was missing. And as a lifetime learner, I definitely think that that's important to incorporate into daily habits and routines. I kind of thought it might be fun maybe at some point to learn a second language. Knowing Spanish would be extremely helpful for where I live. This is also our 3rd year homeschooling with a 1st grader and a kindergartner. It's such a sweet age. My kids love school, and because they're so young, I'm not focusing a ton on academics. I want them to be able to read and write, and I am doing like approved curriculum. However, I want to incorporate practical things as well. As an example, we're going to be doing a little cooking class because I want them to learn about creating healthy foods that fuel their bodies and teach them how to use cooking materials, especially Will. Will is extremely interested in learning how to cook, so I have got him some little kid-friendly utensils and like a little Montessori like kitchen knife set for children so that you can teach them about cutting like fruits and vegetables. Overall, I don't want school to feel like a chore to them. I want it to feel like something they're excited to do every day. I don't put a lot of pressure on them about performance and grades. That's just not really my style. School is for learning and for creating a healthy space for children to love education. That's the way I view it anyway. And they are just sucking up that information every day. And it has been so much fun. And yes, of course, for all of you who want to ask, I will teach them how to make soap eventually if they're interested. They already know quite a bit about it. They have done some melt and pour here. We've done little like crafts here on the channel together, but only if that's something they're interested in. I will not be recommending it or subtly dropping hints that I want them to do it because I literally don't. I don't care. Just because it's my thing doesn't have to be their thing. That was something I really appreciated about both of my parents, is that they never forced their personal hobbies on me or my siblings. My mom was a college cheerleader. My dad was a baseball player, but neither one of them ever forced us into any sort of like after school sports or anything that we didn't actually want to pursue. I think they were very confident in their own choices and life achievements and didn't feel like they had to live vicariously through their children. So yeah, those are some thoughts. My bestie girl has had such big wins this year. I have changed a lot of my mindset. After turning 30, I have been pursuing some more education. I've been pursuing education with my kids, and honestly, we're just having a really good time after some pretty hard years in there. Now, I'm placing these little paper straws on here for effect. They are fully biodegradable, and I've had a couple of people ask, like, what's the point of placing a straw in there if you just have to remove it before you use the soap? I liken the paper straw to adding a garnish on top of a fancy meal. You've probably seen people make a ravioli and then they put like a little sprig of parsley on top. Or you have a lemon wedge on the side of a lemonade. It's not because anyone expects you to sit there and suck on that lemon wedge. It's just for presentation. And so I'm attempting to present something very normal, a bar of soap, in a way that creates a little bit of magic in your day, that brings a little bit of fun and spice to what is an everyday, perhaps even boring or avoidable activity, which is bathing your body. I have had a lot of customers over the years who have struggled with their mental health, and things such as taking a shower and staying clean are very big tasks. So having a little something that can help them look forward to a task that feels very big to them is like the highlight of my career. So when I get the comments on Instagram Reels that are like, why would you do that? It serves no purpose or function. I would say it serves as much function as beauty and magic ever serve. They enhance your life and they make the mundane things more tolerable. Only have a couple more here. Just gonna pop those in. last one. Perfect. And the pumpkin spice Frappuccino bars are complete. I'm not gonna spritz these with rubbing alcohol because they're white, so it doesn't really need it. Also, my soap frosting recipe doesn't ash, and I pre-spritzed all of my pumpkin embeds, so no need to do that for these. We're just gonna let them sit for 18 to 24 hours. Then we'll come back. You'll get to see the browning effect of the fragrance oil. We'll cut them up. We'll take a look at the swirls on the inside after this quick commercial break. Look at our pumpkin spice Frappuccino. It looks so good, and that browning has already started even though it hasn't been unmolded or been exposed to air yet. Look how dark that is. Smells incredible. Yes. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and press down gently. Okay, I'm so excited to see the inside. Yes, look at our swirly pumpkin goodness. You can see how dark it is on the outside. That's how dark it'll be on the inside, so that these two oranges will really start to pop. Ah! Look at the pumpkin embeds. They're so cute. With our little straw, they look like a cute little dessert. Okay, guys, is it too early for pumpkin spice? Let me know. I know it's the beginning of September, but it's still hot where I'm at, okay? Still, I don't think it's too early. I think that even though it's hot outside, I have a deadline for myself, and I'm like, regardless of how hot it is, I have to go ahead and accept that it's autumn now. And I think we've passed the threshold. The technical first day of autumn to me always feels like it's too late in the season and we don't get enough time to celebrate with all the decor and stuff. Just one more close up because look how cute. I think this would look so cute paired with a pumpkin spice candle. Having seasonal soaps to me feels like one of the easiest ways to embrace the season. So you know I'm gonna put this at my kitchen sink. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, I don't know, maybe doing a little online shopping for autumn just a little bit early. Or maybe you want to go on Pinterest and look up some cute fall treats. You know I don't really care what you do, just do something for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Meow.